Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just got a fresh haircut at my buddy Arm here at the top of Sukhumvit, Soy 24. Come check out Arm. The Arm's not trying to be the cheapest in town, but it's super attention to detail. He kind of specializes in different expats haircuts. You have to be a little careful at some of the barbershops around town. They'll hit you with that number one on the sides and in the back. That's the first thing they do, and then they ask you what kind of haircut you want. But Arm, he's going to leave your long hair, your mohawk, or whatever it is you have going, no problem. I think he charges 450 baht, and there are specials if you get a shave and haircut at the same time. I don't have it memorized. I think it's like 100 baht off if you, I think, I should have asked him. I think it's 200 for a shave, but it's 100 if you get a haircut and shave together. So yeah, check it out. And I'm standing at the Prompong BTS looking down Sukhumvit Soy 24, and I wanted to make this video about mistakes us normal people are gonna make. Now, some people are gonna come over and make every mistake in the book. Others, like myself, maybe you're watching this video and others trying to get a little peek around town and maybe gather some information from somebody boots on the ground. I certainly am no expert on Bangkok. I've been here about 3 years. I've visited a number of times, but I know more things about Bangkok than somebody who's never been here. So yeah, I mean, listen to me or other folks like me that are here and then form your own opinions is probably the best way to go. I've heard some interesting things on YouTube, far from the truth, and you know, I try to keep it humble and honest and tell you what's working for me. I'm not saying it will 100% work for you. Many people don't want to live in the big city. But again, if you're watching this video on Bangkok, you're probably not a Bangkok hater and you just want to learn more about the city and prepare for an extended visit or possibly moving on over here. So one of the main mistakes that just normal folks are going to make is landing in the wrong part of Bangkok. Now, it's kind of expat Bangkok 101 to stay somewhere near Terminal 21 in the Asok area, and I'm standing on the Sukhumvit light green line, but it's for a reason. This area is just so easy to ease into being an expat here in Thailand. 90% of people are going to speak English. There are going to be thousands of other expats. Again, I have many good Thai friends, and I'm not saying move to Bangkok just to hang out with other Westerners, but it does make life a little simpler to come over here and trade stories with the next guy down the table at the restaurant or at the pub who's been here a couple of years, or maybe he's been here a couple of months in front of you, and you're going through the same processes at the same time. If it's whatever it is, immigration or finding a condo, yeah, the guy who's been here 30 years, he's a wealth of information and knowledge, but he may have forgot what it's like to be a brand new person in Bangkok. So hanging out with that person who just got here a year ago, that might actually be a better deal for you. And I certainly don't want to tell anybody where to live, but when somebody sends me a message, and I had a guy the other day, he said, hey, I don't know anything about Bangkok. I'm planning on getting an apartment right near the airport. This was Suvarnabhumi. And yeah, I kind of emailed back or texted back and said, well, why do you want to live out there? That's 25 miles from really the heart of expat-friendly Bangkok. And he said, I didn't know any better. I figured, you know, this is as good a place to start as any. And that would probably be a very difficult place to start unless you're a really good Thai speaker and you're used to being the only foreigner in any of the restaurants or pubs out there. This is the place to, in my opinion, to come, get your feet wet, and then, yeah, move to the other side of the river or move out 10 miles away from here, and things are going to get much cheaper. This is going to be the most expensive part of Thailand, the most expensive part of Bangkok, from call it Siam Paragon Mall down at, if you look up this Sukhumvit light green line from Central Station, which is also Siam Central, then you're going to go to Chitlom Station, Plon Chit to Nana, Sok, where I'm standing here in Phrom Phong, and now the train is heading down to Thong La. That's probably one of the more rich areas in all of Thailand, much less Bangkok. The next station is Ekamai, then Prakanong, then On Nut. Now, going past On Nut, you have, just off the top of my head, Punawiti, and then points beyond. People go down another 3-4 stations to about Udom Suk, and that's kind of where most expats, that's about as far as they go. From Udom Suk to come up here to the quote-unquote center of Bangkok, where you're probably going to meet all your buddies and internet dates, on and on. 15, 16 minutes on the train, not much further than that, and that's reasonable. But for not much more money, if you could stay right here in Phrom Phong or a Sok, let's say it's $150 extra a month, you can just walk everywhere. My street is just right there, right on the right, and it takes 7 minutes to walk to the train, and I rarely even get on the train. I'm getting on it today, heading up to the Plon Chit area for an appointment, but for the most part, I walk or take a 31 baht motorbike everywhere. So again, I know that's very basic information to tell an expat to stay somewhere between Siam Paragon Mall and On Nut, but it's just the truth. It's just going to be a much easier transition. Now, up by Siam Paragon BTS station, you're near Wireless Road and the US Embassy and probably 25 other embassies. That is a very expensive area. I mean, it will not be uncommon to have 50, 60, 100,000 baht rent in that area. It's just tons of diplomats, and they all want to be near the embassies. Now, as you come up the way, it's the same in Plon Chit. That's Plon Chit and Chitlom. The embassies are kind of in between the two stations. Then the next station is Nana. Nana's okay. There's some good little sections of Nana, but it's a little gritty. You have the Nana Plaza on Soi 4, and then on the other side of the street you have Soi 11. Basically, Bangkok goes odd and even down Sukhumvit. I'm standing above Soi 24, up ahead is Soi 26, 28, etc. And then on the other side of the street is Soi 39, 41, 43. It kind of gets a little off-center the further you go down Sukhumvit. When you get down to like Sukhumvit 101, on one side it'll be, I don't even know on the other side, 68, something like that on the even. But Nana, a little grittier. If you're okay with that, sure, but be careful in places like staying anywhere near Soi 4. Soi 2 is okay, but you're still going to get noise from Soi 4. Some of those places go late into the evening, and on the other side of the street, Soi 11, it's one of my favorite places to party, and I'll send people there that, hey, I'm not really into the red light area, but I want to see the neon of Bangkok and a little bit of grittiness. I send people to Soi 8 or Soi 11, and there's a little bit of red light going on behind closed doors, but for the most part, it's cover bands and bars. Again, these are just my opinions, but that would be a very common mistake starting off here in Bangkok in a less easy part of town. Again, do that if that's your intention, to not stay in the more expat-friendly area. But there are people that are coming to Thailand, and the last thing I want to do is see another expat, you know. I didn't come to Thailand to hang out in an Irish pub. But for 90% of the rest of us, yeah, it's kind of nice to hang out in that Irish pub and have a Sunday roast once in a while. I'm not saying you're not going to get your share of Thai food. You absolutely will. But that Sunday roast is okay once in a while. Now, a mistake I made, and many others do the same, if you can call it a mistake, I was in a big hurry to get over here and sign a 12-month lease. For reasons of immigration, it's easier to, I got a retirement visa, it's easier to get that with, well, you kind of need a lease, but there are get-arounds with agents and all. I did it by myself, and I just did it by the book. I had the Thai phone number, I had the Thai lease, on and on. But if I had to do it over again, I would probably worry less about getting the retirement visa as quick as I could. I would come over, I'd hang out in, well, this area, Phrom Phong. You're going to pay top dollar 30 days for an Airbnb, but deals can be had, and Airbnb is legal. So don't listen to folks that tell you it's illegal in Thailand. It's illegal if you do it for 3 days. And walking into many buildings, they'll have signs that say no Airbnb, but in Thai, it'll basically say, but it's okay for 30 plus days. So don't be afraid of that. Just be a little leery using Airbnb when somebody says it's no problem staying here for 7 days, and then they hand you a card with a picture of their thumb on it, and you're supposed to hold that up to the little sensor as you're walking into the building every day. Stay away from sketchy things like that. But again, if I had to do it over again, and if I were telling one of my best buddies when they came over, I would say, come over for and the visa exemption keeps changing. Right now it's 60. It'll probably change back to 30 and then back to 60. There's always change. But if it were 60-day visa exempt, just roll into town and stay somewhere for 60 days. Call it Phrom Phong or a Sok. I'd start easy. And then if that's too crazy for you, well, bug out of the country, take a little side trip to Vietnam or wherever it is. There's just 100 places you can travel, well, dozens, you can travel to from Thailand for $100 round trip. I mean, there's just so many. That's another great thing about Bangkok, and a great thing about living in Bangkok. I mean, other people live way up in Isan and all, and that's fine. But when they want to take that side trip to Kuala Lumpur, you know, it's a haul to get down here to Don Muang or Suvarnabhumi. And I don't know, maybe there's flights out of Udon Thani to international locations. I don't know. But myself, I like the city and the convenience. Getting back to the 60-day stays or even a 30-day stay, not being in a hurry to get and sign that 12-month lease, and that's exactly what I did. I had visited often, and the conventional wisdom was, back then this BTS Green Line went to On Nut in one direction and Mo Chit in the other. And everybody said, go out to On Nut and you'll save 50% on your rent, on and on. And I went out there, and On Nut's fine. And I just kind of convinced myself I'm coming over and living as affordably as possible, and I'll use my money to go traveling, scuba, and all these kind of things. And I do all that. Yet after staying up in On Nut for a year, I was always down here in Phrom Phong, more than even down in Asok or Nana. I was always in this Phrom Phong area, the parks, meeting with friends. My favorite pubs are down here, just 5-minute walk up on the right, and my friend Stella's Secret Bar is a 2-minute walk from here. 3 malls. You can see the M Sphere Mall right there with the IKEA. The M Quartier Mall is right here. And on the left side is the Emporium Mall. 2 of the 3 malls have movie theaters and nice food courts. The M Sphere, not even a little over a year-old mall. It has the IKEA, and just everything's here. So I was always in this Phrom Phong area, and I really couldn't wait for my lease to be up in On Nut. And I moved up here to Phrom Phong, and I could have got a condo for the exact same price as On Nut. I was paying 16,000 baht in On Nut for a 31-meter condo. It was at the Knightsbridge on Sukhumvit 77, and I found it was on a high floor, 28, whatever, but big deal, you'll get over that. Then I came down here and I found an 8-story building, and there was a 36-meter on the 8th floor for the exact same price, and I could have even negotiated down maybe 1,000 or 2,000 baht, signing that 12-month lease, or sometimes you can sign a 2-year lease. That's exactly what I did in the condo I'm in now. Well, what happened was that place was 16,000, and I was working with a real estate agent. She said, you know, this is a nice place. And I said, yeah, it will suit my needs fine. And she said, but let's walk across the street. Let me show you this place. It's 52-meter. They want 22,000 baht, but I think they're flexible. They like foreigners staying there because you're no trouble. You know what I mean? You need a place to stay, and you're not going to make any trouble, and that's exactly right in 99% of cases. But I went and looked at this place. It was beautiful. I immediately offered 18,000 baht, and I will give you 6 months rent up front as an incentive. And she countered with, no, go ahead and pay month to month at 19,000 baht. And I signed a 1-year lease. And after that 1 year was up, she never heard a peep out of me. I never had any trouble with her. And I signed a 2-year lease at 19,000 baht. That's a pretty good deal here in the Phrom Phong area for a 52 meter, but it's a little bit older building, 20 something, I don't know, 20, 21 years old. And if you have to have that 5-year-old building that's 4 minutes from the train, it's not going to be 20,000 baht, it's going to be 60,000 baht, for example. But if you don't mind walking 8 or 10 minutes, you can still get some killer deals, even in some of the more expensive areas of town. So don't be in a rush to sign that 12-month lease. I thought I had did my due diligence. I stayed in on Nut, and I stayed here in Phrom Phong, and I don't know. I was just in a big hurry to get that lease and take that lease down to immigration and take care of that business that I kind of rushed the process. And like I say, had I gave it a little time, and I think the longest vacation I ever had was a little under 3 weeks. So that gave me a good feel, but it's not the same as living here, knowing where the grocery store is, you know, knowing where you're going to meet your buddies, all that kind of thing. So yeah, if you can, live in a couple, 2, 3 places. Let's say you're the real artistic type and you're always up in RE. Well, you are going to be in trouble if you signed a 12-month lease in, say, on Nut, and you have to ride that train 25 minutes past Victory Monument to the RE BTS area, where all the poetry and art galleries are happening in town. Now, with all that being said, there is a get-around. If you sign a 12-month lease, most landlords will put a clause in the lease, and I would certainly ask for it if it's not there, or talk to your real estate agent about it, where you can get out of that 12-month lease by forfeiting 2 months rent. Basically, when you move in, you're gonna pay, call it first, last, and a security deposit. So 3 months rent to move in, that's pretty standard. And let's say in month 6, you wanna bug out of there, not a problem. Just give the landlady plenty of notice, and she'll keep that 2 months, and everybody goes their own separate ways. Now, of course, that's assuming you did no damage and didn't put huge holes in the wall, any of that type of thing. Now, there's also a lot of talk, usually from, I don't know, more, I hate to point people out as, you know, these guys are bitter or whatever, but Facebook guys will tell you, you 100% absolutely will not get your lease back. It's a big, or deposit back. It's a huge scam, and on and on and on. Well, I've got my deposits back, so I don't know. I'm sure that person is maybe, who knows, breaking the rules and smoking in the unit, and the place stinks like cigarettes. They have to paint the walls and scrub it down. I don't know. There's some reason why that person is not getting their deposit back, other than the Thais just wanting to scam a foreigner. I really don't believe that for a second. And I made my way up to Phnom Chit, and this brings up an interesting thing you're going to have to avoid, and you're certainly going to run across it the longer you hang out in Bangkok or anywhere in Thailand, is the language, grammar, hardcore, needs to correct everybody guy. Actually, Joe, it's not Phnom Chit, it's Phnom Chit. Or you're saying sukhumvit wrong, or it's Pattaya, not Pattaya, or whatever. Just ignore that guy. Use your Thai the best you know how, but even real pros, just different Thai folks I respect, and I even heard it, if you're familiar with Bangkok Pat's channel, he's great. He even said it, the, I forget what he called them, the grammar freaks. He said he's half Thai, or I don't know if he's 100% Thai, I know he lived in the UK, but he certainly knows how to say Pattaya correct, or, you know, whatever the case is, but he's not going to get on anybody for saying, I'm going down to Pattaya Beach or this or that. He says when he is speaking with another expat, he might even keep it a little simple, himself, you know, hey, where do you live? Well, I live over in the Phnom Penh area. He's not going to say Phnom Penh or whatever the case is. I get it. It's a tonal language, on, and you need to learn how to read and write to be able to speak clearly in Thai. But if anybody in a pub ever tells you it's a tonal language and you're saying something wrong, it's probably a good time to change seats. Just do the best you can, and most normal Thai folks are going to respect you for even giving it a try. I've made the joke over and over, I'm from California, and I certainly don't correct a person when they ask me how to get to Los Angeles. Actually, it's Los Angeles. But for whatever reason, some guy that's lived in Bangkok for a year and a half, he has a need to tell you you're pronouncing things wrong. Well, I'm here at the Phnom Penh BTS. Right down below is the Siam Pharmacy. If you're in need of filling many prescriptions, I have been told, I filled one there myself, and it was cheaper than Bumrungrad Hospital, that's for sure. So ask your doctor to give you that letter if it's needed. Different drugs, you need the physician approval. Not everything you can just walk in and get at a pharmacy, no matter what you hear on YouTube. It's just not possible. But he will or she will write you that letter, and you can take it in and fill it more affordably or get a generic at a place like Siam Pharmacy. And looking down the street, you'll find Wireless Road, just not even whatever it is, 200-300 feet up ahead. On the left, you'll find the U.S. Embassy. What's down there? Netherlands. Lumpini Park is down towards the end of Wireless, where you'll find the Japanese Embassy and the One Bangkok new mall, which is nice. And right down there where you see those folks standing at the bus stop is a shuttle bus that'll take you from Phnom Penh BTS over to One Bangkok. And right now there is little to no traffic for being almost 5 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon. Usually it's bumper to bumper, and to be quite honest, if you're up for a walk, you can walk from here to One Bangkok in, I'll call it 15 minutes, and you might sit on that bus for over 30 minutes. It's air conditioned, so you'll have to make your decision on that. And this is looking off in the other direction. These cars are coming from Nanan, the Soi 1 area. That's where Sukhumvit starts. And I know grammar police, it's Sukhumvit or whatever they're going to correct me, but if you say Sukhumvit, everybody knows what you're talking about, like an idiot. For probably the first 50 or 75 videos, for whatever reason, I would say Sukhumvit. And I get it, that's not wrong, and I was corrected often, but if you go back and watch a video from 3 years ago, I'm probably gonna say Sukhumvit, and that was after visiting 7-8 times. So we just all do the best we can. But I did bring up other YouTubers, and I include myself in that group. Most of us, we're just doing the best we can, telling you our experiences and maybe passing on a couple of things, mistakes we've made, or just mistakes we wouldn't make a second time. Maybe that's the whole purpose of this video. I've met a lot of nice people recently, and in the past years, I'm super grateful for all the folks I've met, normally sitting around, eating food, drinking a beer, and just trading different stories. Folks from all over the world who watch my little channel, and that last year they were stuck at work planning their retirement. Maybe it gave them a little inspiration about, hey, maybe I'll go take a look at that neighborhood, or that looks like a nice street, you know, to possibly find a condo. And if 1% of any of these little videos helps anybody in any way, again, I'm super grateful for that, and it's just a hobby of mine. I don't pretend to be any kind of expert on anything. I've probably said that 2 or 3 times in this video, but I'm trying to keep it real and keep it humble. Other YouTubers, maybe not so much. They are a little clickbaity and just want to throw things out and I don't know, shoot their mouth off about whatever it is, immigration or this, that, whatever, or this scam, and on and on. I get all that. I'm not saying Bangkok and Thailand does not come with trouble, or I don't even know if it's trouble so much as things you are going to have to adjust to. you can call it a scam that the taxis are not going to turn the meter on at 2 in the morning in the pouring rain. Me opening that taxi door and paying 200 baht to go 5 miles, that is a good thing. If that's a scam, yeah, sign me up for more of those scams. I'm used to hanging out in California at 2 in the morning. It's 5 times surge pricing and $100 to go that same distance that I would just charge $6 by a scam artist here in Bangkok. Sign me up for those scams. But just listen to all these YouTube videos, including mine, with a grain of salt. Use it as a template maybe. Again, I'm more just kind of showing you the streets. I'm starting to do some of these videos. To be honest, they're kind of popular. When I do a video on my experience after 3 years in Bangkok, it gets some views. So yeah, I'm okay with sharing my opinions. I know I'm going to go through a ton of comments, mostly positive. You know, hey, you know, I watch your videos. You're kind of making sense. Let me get out of this person's way. And I'm kind of thinking the same way. I'd like to stay in the Phrom Phong area or a sulk, and I don't mind paying a little extra for it, that kind of thing. But then, of course, you're going to get the, you're an idiot, you know, I live for $612 up in XYZ village and telling people it's $3,500. I have never heard of anything as stupid, and on and on. I get it. I'm sure that guy's living on $662 because that's what his retirement check is each month. And I 100% respect that and understand it, why he's having a hard time with other folks that are spending a whole $40,000 a year to live in a world-class city, travel often, go out to dinner 5 times a week. I'm not sure. I would assume it's jealousy. Be a little careful with the YouTubers. We do our best, but even myself, I mean, I made a very detailed video at immigration on exactly how I got my retirement visa on my own. And a year later, it was kind of outdated. I left that video up, and I was assaulted in the comments about, I don't know what I'm talking about, this, that, whatever. I shouldn't be passing out bad advice. When I said in the video 100 times, this is November of whatever it was, 2022, and this is how it rolls today. In December of 2022, things may be different. And I'm responding to a comment in 2024 about it's different now, you know, you need this instead of that. So I don't know, some people just aren't the sharpest tools in the shed. So I guess the bottom line is just be careful with YouTube. Facebook's even worse. I mean, there are guys on Facebook that just love passing out advice that is usually wrong, and they're the first ones to try to correct you with their bad advice. Again, I don't have things figured out, but when I go to immigration, I'm trying to get across the street here. When I go to immigration and I'm told XYZ, now that's not to say another immigration officer might tell you something totally different. That's another thing. But when I'm told do it in such a way, and I say that in a video, yeah, it's a special kind of person that has a need to yell at you, or however you want to say it. It doesn't bother me at all. In fact, some of my people that leave comments all the time, they say, man, don't even bring up those negative comments and all. It's just funny to me, and I'm saying it because you're going to run across these folks. When you come over to Bangkok, you're going to be sitting in a restaurant or sitting in a pub and strike up a conversation with the guy next to you, and it's just kind of our instinct to ask that person, especially if you're in town for the first 2 weeks, well, hey, you know, how do you get your bank account and all? And they'll say, oh, it's easy. Just put on some nice clothes and walk into every branch at Terminal 21, and I guarantee you will get a bank account opened. And that's just not the case right now in 2025. That guy might have opened his bank account in 1999, and I don't know, he just has a need to correct you or tell you how it is, and he has no idea how it is. I mean, me, I'm not passing out information on how to open a bank account because I opened mine 3 years ago, and things have really changed. I don't even know. I hear it's easier if you're over 50 with a retirement account. But again, I hate even saying that in this video, because somebody might watch this video 1 year from now and say, what are you talking about? I just opened a bank account yesterday. In fact, they wanted me to open 3 and it was simple. Maybe that will be the case. But right now it's a little difficult, so be careful who you take your information from. I mean, listen to everybody, but some people will be talking to me and they'll say, oh, you know, such and such told me to do it this way. And I'm thinking, you might want to rethink that. That could get you in trouble. You know what I mean? That sounds like, how's it going? Looks like the guy's tuk-tuk broke down. You just want to keep it cool and just be careful who you're taking advice from, if it's in a bar or if it's on YouTube. And this way to one of the finer hospitals in Southeast Asia, Bumrungrad. I was talking to my buddy the other night. He, young guy in his 40s, and he came down with a terrible stomach infection or something, and he was in and out of the hospital for months. He's doing a lot better, but he went to Med Park and said it was a beautiful hospital. I've heard very good things about Med Park. Bangkok Hospital. Bangkok Hospital, you'll find locations all over Thailand, so if you're going to be moving around, to the best of my knowledge, there's only one Bumrungrad. But if you're going to be living in Bangkok and then you want to move to Hua Hin, you want to move to Pattaya, I know there are Bangkok hospitals in all those locations, so maybe it's a little simpler records-wise and all. I don't know, but I'm a Bumrungrad guy. They take my Blue Cross Federal Health Insurance, and they do direct billing, so I just pay the copay. It's worked out fine for me. Even right there, that comment I just made, hey, they take my Blue Cross here. Some guy left me a comment saying, this guy is passing out bad information. I have Blue Cross and they don't accept it, and on and on. I said, they take my Blue Cross Federal Insurance. It turns out this guy was a firefighter from some city in Ohio, and that is not a federal policy. It's probably a state policy, and I don't know. They only cover them in the United States. Don't blame me for that. I'm not passing out bad advice. I didn't say Blue Cross is accepted everywhere in the world, every policy. I said I use Blue Cross here. So take that for what it's worth and start your research there. If you're going to get angry because your Blue Cross is not accepted here, that's not really my problem. Now, this is just my opinion, but a major mistake a lot of people make is overlooking health insurance, or thinking you're going to just leave Thailand and head back to the UK or Australia if something goes bad. I don't know. To me, that's not a great plan. I don't know how quick you're going to get back to the UK if you've had a major heart attack and need immediate surgery here in Thailand. If jumping on a plane and flying 15 hours to the UK is the solution, I wish you luck in that plan, but I would probably factor in some health insurance no matter what it costs. I mean, it's just, that's your life. So there are a lot of folks that just risk that, or they'll say something silly like just have a credit card with 5,000 or 10,000 balance on it, and that'll take care of any need you may have. Maybe. I don't know what a cash open heart surgery cost here at Bumrungrad. I'm going to assume it's much more than 10,000 US dollars, but again, I have no idea. Now, one other mistake that's very easy to make when retiring to Bangkok, and I'm guilty of it myself, is partying too much, drinking too much. I like to hang out and socialize. I'm not a huge drinker, but even going out for 3 or 4 beers 3 or 4 times a week, that adds up and, you know, can wear you out. I have my little YouTube hobby. I also try to exercise as much as I can in the pool. I'm out walking, I don't know, 5 miles at a whack when I'm doing these YouTube videos, so that kind of revitalizes the old mailman in me. But don't make the mistake of coming over here, and I know this is common sense, but it's real easy to fall into that groove. You're going to meet buddies, and in the case of my channel, folks are always wanting to, hey man, I'm coming into town, I'd like to buy you a beer or meet up with you, you know, pick your brain. Sure, Well, that's just another excuse for me to head to the pub, and 7 o'clock turns into closing time. Again, that's all fun, but you have to have some other hobbies. Again, for me, it's the YouTube and swim in my laps, whatever it is. Just keep in mind that when you go from, in my case, working 10-hour, 12-hour days, 6 days a week, if I could get the overtime, to having nothing but time, it's real easy to just sleep in until 10 or 11 in the morning and stay out partying every night. Again, I'm a night owl. I like that. I'm not going to wave my finger at anybody for heading to watch music or hang out in the pub late at night, but after doing it for months and months and months, and it will get a little old and you'll get a little burnt out, and you need a backup plan. Again, it hasn't really got old for me. I love hanging out with my friends and all, but I also balance that with, yeah, but I'm gonna cool it, go home, it's 10:30, 11, because tomorrow I'm getting up at 6 in the morning and I'm gonna be out making videos until 10 in the morning. I'm gonna walk 10 miles. So it kind of gives me something to go home for, if that makes sense. Hey, so there you go. Just a few of my opinions. I mean, take it for what it's worth, but I am boots on the ground. I'm over here. I try to be reasonable, not pointing fingers at anybody. I'm just not that kind of guy. Sabai, you know, do what you want to do. It doesn't really matter to me. But if you are wanting to kind of understand the lay of the land, well, I'm doing my best to at least tell you what has worked for me, what has worked for several of my buddies. If that's not in your plans, hey, that's fine. I wish you all the best. Wherever you are, I would say 95% of people are normal, and they'll say something along the lines of, yeah, man, I watch your videos, but visiting Bangkok is cool. I'd never want to live there. It's just too crazy busy for me. It's like, I don't know, living on the Las Vegas Strip, and I 100% understand that. And as I'm finishing up at the hospital, I really want to thank you for watching my little video, and consider subscribing to my channel if you have not, for more looks around town. You take it easy.